Hi guys, I'm Earl Dixon at Micro Homesteaders. I guess you can tell I've been a little newsy lately. The weather's bad, we're stuck in the house, and I tend to want to know what's going on around me, so I hit the news. Now don't get me wrong, I don't depend on the lamestream news, but I do like to know what they're saying. And here's a good example of what you can find if you're just looking around. So let's take a look. This is an article from Fox News, and they say ABC News imagining of President Trump's vision for his own funeral despicable. It's despicable garbage, one critic says. ABC News correspondents imagined President Trump's vision for his own state funeral on Wednesday, joking about what the current president would expect compared to the services for George H.W. Bush. And I quote, probably a different tone in that funeral. First, he's going to choreograph it, so there might be more trumpets and fanfare, end quote. ABC chief foreign correspondent Terry Morin said on the network's live stream of the Bush funeral. ABC correspondent Devin Dwyer chimed in, and I quote, yes, he would do it bigger. One would imagine, end quote. Morin then parroted what he imagined Trump would say, declaring his service would be, quote, the best presidential funeral ever. Quote, no one will ever have seen anything like that funeral, Morin continued. The Wrap, which quickly noticed the exchange, wrote that ABC's coverage took an uncomfortable turn when the discussion shifted to President Trump's eventual funeral. Media Research Center Vice President Dan Gaynor told Fox News that Bush's death, quote, has been seen through the eyes of journalists who use every single event to attack Trump, end quote, but found the ABC News segment particularly appalling. To mock him during the coverage of the president's funeral is just despicable garbage. And that's a quote from Dan Gaynor. Quote, mock him during the coverage of the president's funeral is just despicable garbage. I would say ABC News should apologize, but it wouldn't be sincere if it did. This is about the billionth example of unprofessional journalism in their attacks on Trump. It's only more outrageous because the solemn occasion, Gaynor said. Political comedian Tim Young told Fox News that the comments are the latest example of a liberal bias in the media. It's in bad taste to joke about any of our current leaders' future passing, Young said. But what this highlights again is the media outrage double standard where you can say basically anything you want about a Republican and get away with it. It's in bad taste to joke about any of our current leaders' future passing. Tim Young. Young said that public reaction would be much different if the ABC News reporters joked about Obama's funeral. There would have been full blocks of TV dedicated to how disgusting they were on CNN and forced apologies from their own network, Young said. The awkward moment began when the network's live stream was waiting for the plane carrying H.W. Bush to depart Joint Base Andrews following the 41st President's emotional funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral. The ABC News host, seemingly attempting to kill time, called Trump's presidency different than Bush's. It is, in fact, a repudiation of much of what George Herbert Walker Bush and George Walker Bush stood for, because the people who voted him wanted that repudiation, Morin said. Bush, who died late Friday at his home in Houston at age 94, was memorialized Wednesday during an emotional funeral service at the Washington National Cathedral. ABC News declined comment. They declined comment. That is so surprising. Well, this is just some of the stuff that you find on the lamestream news when you just are looking around to see what's going on. Thanks for watching, and it's Micro Homesteaders. Bye-bye.